Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Firsties. As always, I want to thank you guys for being here. I'm really excited for this episode. If you guys are not watching on YouTube, I have our very first male guest. I don't even know if we didn't even go over that. You're our very first male guest. So welcome. Hi, how are you?
Hey, what's up? Happy to be here.
So we have Beanie here, right? Or Benny?
Beanie, either
okay.
one works.
Okay, I've just put a little twang on it.
Yeah.
So the background between me and Beanie is I actually met him on social media. I came across his content and I thought he's a comedian. You consider yourself a comic, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Are you a full-time comic?
Yeah, so at this point I'm full-time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I'll admit, bro, it's not as easy as people make it look.
Yeah. Like even we had a little time to connect before starting this episode, and I'm even at fault of like glamorizing it because I just think it's really, really cool. Like in my eyes, you've already made it.
Yeah.
I know everyone has a different perspective on that. I have a million questions. Anyone who knows me knows I absolutely am obsessed with comedy. I just think it's for you to go up on stage and talk. First of all, public speaking is like terrifying for everyone. And then have stories. If I practice enough, it's not. Like if I know what I'm talking about, yes. If I don't, then I'm sweating and I could like literally pass. Yeah, it has to be rehearsed. Yeah. Yeah. And then it's because it's happening in real time. If I don't get the first laugh or what have you, then I probably would crumple. Like, you know what I mean? So for you to go up on stage and have a bunch of people laughing, and I've seen your content, you're funny. I told you before, if you weren't, I would tell you like, boo, we got to do something to you know what I hope you be not honest. Not that I'm an expert, but I could tell you like, oh, that's funny. That's not. Right. So thank you so much for coming on. Like, I'm super, super excited to have you here. So first I did a deep dive on your social media, and I found that you're half Nigerian, half Ethiopian. That's correct, yeah. And then you were born in DC. Correct. But then you moved back home.
I moved to Ethiopia after that.
Where in Ethiopia?
Arat Kilo, Addis.
Okay. Yeah. And then when did you come back?
To the States?
Yeah.
There was like a lot in between. I moved when I was 6 again to Switzerland.
Okay.
So I lived in Europe for a long time.
Can I ask what do your parents do or why you were moving so much?
Yeah, it was my parents' job. My dad worked for one of the organizations out there.
Okay.
And he was in Geneva, so we were in Geneva as well. It's an interesting country. They still live there.
Oh wow.
So we would visit between school, me and my brothers. I have a large family as well.
How many?
Cool. 3 brothers. We're 4 boys.
Oh, kept your parents busy, I'm sure.
Yeah, dude, but my brothers they're the dopest.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
And then Switzerland, and then I moved to Florida to a basketball academy.
Benny, what the? Okay.
Yeah, I'm all over the place, and then after Florida it was New York.
Okay.
And then went to university in New York.
So you were in New York during your adolescent years?
No, yeah, I guess I was a young adult.
Okay.
You know what I mean? 17. I entered my freshman year at 17, but
oh, you did?
Because of my birthday.
Oh, it was like one of those weird. That's a whole other TED Talk with like cop shop folks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's so funny.
September 1st.
Yeah. It's that cutoff. Yeah. Okay, and then so growing up, did you always were you the funny kid in school? Were you like we discussed? You're a comic. You're a comedian. Yeah. I'll also tag his information below so you guys can see his content. And then you also just have to send me your dates for your show so I can put that in the episode as well. I will be coming out to your show. I'm really, really excited. Me and my producers are going to go out.
Nice.
So were you always the funny kid?
I was always I was definitely the troublemaker.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I definitely was saw how people's emotions, I got in tune with people's emotions pretty young, I feel like. Yeah. And I saw what being funny could do for people. And I was always the mediator in my family as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm the second son. So I did play a mediation role. So I think that's kind of where it comes from a little bit too. That makes me more empathetic, and I realized young what laughter could do.
Yeah. That's amazing. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I just spoke in the last episode that isn't out yet, but the reason why I like comedy so much, and a therapist told me, is because at one point it saved my life. It was the only thing that kept me afloat when life lifing, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like when life is throwing hands, like that's all I really had.
Life is throwing hands is hilarious.
Yeah. So that's really awesome that you're able to do that for other folks. Okay, so okay, you could be funny, sometimes I think I'm funny. I don't think I could be a comic or anything like that. So what made you transition over to be like, I could really do this shit?
One time I remember I was living in New York. I was working this like corporate job that I absolutely hated.
As we do, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember walking into a bar. It was called Harlem Nights. There's also a famous movie, funnily enough, Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence are in that movie. And I walked into this bar called Harlem Nights right next to where I lived, and they were doing comedy. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I just decided to kick it and stay. And then by the end of it, I was like, dude, I feel like I'm funnier than these motherfuckers. Like,
right.
I feel like I could, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the next week I went back and I never stopped going. And then boom, it's just led me to this ridiculous, yeah.
And then now you do it full time.
Yeah.
Which means you just do shows. That's how you take care of yourself. That's how you pay your bills.
Yeah.
That's actually insane.
Yeah.
Truly I've watched a million content on all like female, men, black, like whoever comics. And they say like really success is just trying to do this and like not be thinking about where you're going to sleep next or when you're going to eat. Like that's real success.
Yeah.
The stadiums and Netflix special is great too, but really you're already a successful comic that you're able to like support yourself truly. Because that grind is no joke.
So yeah, it's crazy, right? Yeah. The problem with it is that the like money's like very sporadic.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean?
Never
so,
consistent. I hear.
I took this advice from one of my OGs named DC Benny. He's like been in DC for a long, long time. You can look him up, Comedy Central, all that other stuff. Now he just chills. He has a house in New York with his wife. He loves his wife.
Love that for them.
He does comedy when he likes.
Love that for them.
But he was like, do a couple different things. Always have multiple sources of income. Like, don't strain yourself on one thing. That is the best way to do it. And so I took that advice, and that was kind of like the best thing I heard. Because he was like, being able to say no is very valuable in this game. You can't just say yes to everything. Your time is very valuable as well.
Right.
So yeah, that was very important as well. And so I think if I was giving advice to any other comic, I'd be like, or young comic, I'd be like, have other means of income as well, especially when you're starting, dude.
Is the other means of income like also creative endeavors, or some people could be working a 9 to 5 and then also, because I know, isn't it also like just the bookings and things? They're never really consistent, and it's kind of like wait, then go really quickly, then wait.
That's why you also produce, right? You can produce your own shows. I've also produced my own shows.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the show you're coming to is one that I produced.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, there's multiple ways of doing it, man. You just gotta diversify.
Yeah,
that's the best thing to do.
And would you agree that DC is is the world of comics in New York different from DC versus LA? I know you just recently went on a trip.
For sure.
LA.
For sure. Yeah, I was recently in LA for the first time actually. But each scene has its own. It's so different.
How are the crowds differently? I feel like the LA crowds are different from the DC crowds.
Yeah, LA crowds are different from DC crowds, which are different from New York crowds.
Yeah.
My personal favorite is DC crowds.
Right.
I love them because they feel so multicultural. Everybody's intelligent. They kind of get the jokes. They can latch on. Like they kind of understand. You get me? New York crowds are like, they're fun. They can get rowdy. I feel like they're a little dark.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They like dark humor, like that grungy, like New York vibe. Like, you know what I mean? Nothing phases me. I can say the craziest stuff. LA, they were a little bit more like sitting pretty. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, like, you know what I mean? It was kind of like, I got to bring you some. All right, cool. Like, let's all get together. So it was interesting, man. It was fun. It was fun, though.
I also find that sometimes when I'm in these rooms or these shows, and I haven't been to one in a while. I just saw Ladies Night out like a couple weeks ago, and it was like Nicole B and
this is a movie.
No. It was a lineup of female comics.
Oh, it was a show.
Yeah. At the Anthem, and that was a lot of fun.
Nice.
I love female comics because we don't really get room to just be like gross and nasty. And if a woman could go up on stage and say the most wildest shit, I'm just like, go you girl, go. Dude. Especially in our culture, it's like my mom would be like best mom, and I'm like, it's comedy, it's whatever.
My mom like watches some comedy and she's like, this is crazy.
Yeah. My mom's like, what the fuck are are you watching?
Yeah, but some of my female comics, I have some of my best friends are female comics.
Yeah. I mean,
they go hard.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, on that discussion though, what do your parents think about your choice in?
Yeah.
Like, that's probably the number one thing when I saw your comedy. I'm like, I have a million questions because like, it's like, I'm the only one in my family who went against the whole like medical, like lawyer. My brother's engineering, my sister's an NP, all my cousins are nurses. Like, I'm really the only, and I'm the baby of the family. So I think they just kind of like forgot about me.
Right. How many siblings? Mom, Dad.
I have 2 siblings. I have an older sister and an older brother. Okay. Really, really close to them. They're awesome. And so even doing this, like, my parents are supportive now because I'm able to like kind of take care of myself with the job that I have. But this, I'd rather want to do this full time. And that terrifies my parents. So what is your parents' take on you? 4 boys and one of them is a comic.
Yeah, my parents are like really supportive.
Oh, okay.
I am like so lucky in the weirdest way, but only on the condition that I finished my school.
Okay.
And I got my degrees. Like, I collected that. I did well. I did sports. Like, I played college basketball and stuff like that, right? So I was like, I did all of that correctly, and then at a certain point, also the pandemic changed a lot. The pandemic kind of shifted how a lot of people think, right?
Yeah,
so like maybe like back then, bro, it would have been even tougher. But you know, then they were like, all right, you're taking care of yourself. Everything's good. You're paying your bills. You know what I mean? If this is what you want to do, make it happen. Also, I introduced it to them in a very unique way.
How? Did you just brought them to a show?
So with my dad, especially, he was visiting us here in the DMV. He lives in Geneva. Yeah. So he came, and I was like, fuck, can I curse on here?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. I don't know. Anyway, I was like, dude, I have a show that's coming up, and it's a competition. I'm just going to tell my dad, let's go watch a comedy show. Okay. And like, let's just see if I can win it without letting him know that I'm performing.
That is a sick way to, okay.
Yeah, so that's what I did, right? Okay. And I just invited him to the show. It was my brother, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And they were like, okay. And I left. And I just, the next time they saw me, I was on stage. And then I won.
That's amazing.
And then I won, yeah. So that I didn't know it was going to play out that way, but I was like, dude, if I could shoot my shot and do it, might as well. Yeah. And that's how it played out. That's amazing. It's on YouTube, actually.
I have to check that. I have to check that out. Yeah. If you didn't win, do you think he'll be like, the fuck are you doing again? Okay. Absolutely. Yep. I was just talking on an episode. I interviewed my mom, and she's saying, I groomed you to be a winner. So there's no number 2. You're not a number 2. And I'm like, yeah, but my mental health is not where it needs to be. She's like, I don't care. You're a winner. You need to be number 1. So
it was a critical point. If I had lost to that, I would not be sitting here with you today.
Probably not. No. Probably not. Yeah.
It's a risk, you know?
That's amazing. And then what about your mom?
Oh, my mom's the best, bro. My mom's the best. She's
because the way my mom, she'll say that my brother's not her favorite, but it is. So I feel like if I decide to be a comic, it'll be different from like her special boy being a comic. So your mom has 4 boys. So I'm just interested.
Avishai parents are interesting, man. The way that they latch on to the boy of the family, because I'm talking about like my cousins. Like, I have cousins, and they have the oldest is 2 girls and then 2 boys younger. Yeah. But the first boy, man, he gets whatever, dog. He's spoiled, yo. But he's the man, you know. He's the man. But like, I'm like, damn, bro, because his older sister is more my age.
Okay, gotcha.
You get me? Yeah, so I'd be like, you know, we see each other eye to eye. And it's like, I get it, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I will say my brother's not an asshole, so he deserves it. Like, I'm like, he's my favorite too of the family. But I'm just like, come on, me and my sister, like, she'll never, ever admit it. But I'm like, my brother is her favorite kid.
That's
ever.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. My mom has just like, she's got a small army. Yeah. At all times. Yeah. Like, we were walking the other day in some outdoor mall, and it was just like we were just, you know, following her. Like, she was just enjoying herself. She's like, I want a milkshake. Or like, somebody go get some milk. You know what I mean? Like, that's how.
And it just appears.
Yeah, that's how it works when mom. You know what I mean? That's how it goes.
Yeah. No, that's a beautiful relationship. Well, it's nice that your family supports your endeavors. I think one of the things I thought about when I came across your content is like, what does his family think? You know, because in some families you're lucky, but in some families, you choosing to do comedy, like, I was just talking to one of my Nigerian friends, and they're saying like, yeah, that's like, I might as well just be a prostitute. Like, that's how they, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's how in some families, my family's the same, they support me, all those things, but So I always wanted to ask for your advice on, for anyone out there who wants to be a comic. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I've met medical professionals or people in my family, like they're fucking miserable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not doing what they want, whether it's they want to be a dancer or like a painter or whatever the case is. And I secretly, we're all creatives at heart. I secretly believe that, but some of us are just have the balls to actually do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I see in your comic too, like you're not afraid of trying. You're not afraid of looking like you're trying, which a lot of people don't have. Their ego would never allow them to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Of like just starting, ever. They just want the millions and they just want the views, but you have to start somewhere.
Yeah. I think ASAP said that on. You ever seen that one video of ASAP? He's like, when did it ever become not cool to try?
Yeah, I have seen it.
And he said a bunch of other stuff after that, which is also fire. So but that part was the dopest. Like, when did it? You're such a herb. If you think it's like uncool to try, you're bugging.
Yeah. But it's another thing to try in front of a full audience and like.
That's true too. So
but you have to take a whole other
big swings, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
have you ever bombed?
Yeah. Every comedian you've ever talked to ever has bombed. Yeah. Right? Like, but you can bomb for a certain number of things. You know, the joke cannot be hitting. The crowd just cannot like you. You can open up badly. But you can always save it. I don't know. There's different ways to do it. But yeah, you know, I try to as least as possible. Right. You get me? That's the goal. Yeah. You know, but it's happened for sure. Everybody has their day.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, but the crowd might just be, I've been in shows before and I think it's funny. And then I'm like, and no one's laughing. I'm like, they're going to have to fight out of this one.
My buddy, his name is Winston. He just posted, he has a bit about this. And he was talking about like, if you ever listen to a comedy show and like the comedian on stage is doing really bad, right? And then in the back of the room, you kind of hear like somebody hysterically laughing. Yeah. That's all of us laughing at what's going on stage, you know? Like when somebody bombs, bro, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's so painful for me that I just want to hug that person because I would just cry right there.
You're going to get these jokes. Yeah. You need these jokes, bro. What?
I know you, like I saw a video that was really funny where like two random dudes are not answering your questions properly and you're like, what the fuck is going on? It was like, are you from DC or something like that? And they're like, no, not from DC. And then he's like, oh, you're from Boston? He's like, north of Boston. You're like, so now not Boston.
Oh yeah. That clip. Yeah.
Do you have any like hecklers or just people who just like fuck up your show or like anything like that?
I get excited.
Really?
Maybe I'm sick. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm sick.
Yeah, it's content.
But like if you're coming, like if you're in a comedy show and you decide to yell at me, like in a time that like nobody's really yelling at me,
right? Like
you've given me the green light to flame you up.
Yeah.
And no one's gonna be on your side. Like if you come at just saying wild shit to me, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, I'm sick, bro. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, because they don't know what they're up against. They
it's
want to
fun,
be
man. You've given me the right to say whatever I want to you, sir.
Yeah.
Or ma'am.
Not sir. Or ma'am. Okay.
Yeah, anybody can get these jokes. Everybody's getting these jokes.
Yeah, anyone can get these hands. Got it. Are you performing every night?
Yeah. Wow. I take Mondays off.
So can you just walk me through your can you walk me through your schedule if you don't mind? Like, what's the life of a comic?
It'll depend, man. It'll depend. But
don't you guys wake up at like 3 p.m. and then like maybe grab some food and then
definitely can't wake up at 3 p.m. That's crazy.
Okay. I forget that you're having a shot.
3 p.m. is wild, yo. That's the day's finished.
I know.
Go back to sleep. That's yeah.
I think I heard Matt Rife say that.
That he wakes up with he's also rich, so like he can do whatever he likes, bro.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like what?
I didn't consider that.
Yeah. I didn't consider that. Homie could fall asleep the whole day. Gotcha. He's chilling.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm sure he won't. He's also a really cool dude. Met him in person.
Really?
Worked with him before.
Oh, okay.
Am I cutting this out?
No, you're not. You're fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, he's a very cool dude, that dude, man.
Yeah, I was going to go to his show and then I ended up having to like a work weekend or whatever, but I wanted to go to his show because he filmed his Netflix special in DC.
Sure did, man. He always said he loved DC.
Yeah,
he always said, even when he was here. It was dope. It was dope, man.
Yeah.
He was fine.
What else? Okay. So no crazy moments, nothing.
No, I've had crazy moments.
No stalkers, no.
Oh, stalkers? Nah.
Not yet.
To a point of a stalker, you know
what
I mean? Yeah. Inshallah, bro. No stalkers, yeah?
Not yet. Wow, yeah. What else? Okay. what is your goal when it comes to comedy? I mean, there's the obvious answers, but like Netflix shows, do you just want to do arenas? Do you want to not headline a show, or like open up for Dave Chappelle or Martin Lawrence or whomever?
Yeah. I don't think I know any comedian that dreams of just opening for someone.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's an interesting craft that we have. It's just us up there.
I know.
So different from like,
insane.
you know, singing or dancing or backup dancers, instruments. We don't have any of that. So it's just like, if I'm silent, bro, y'all are just going to look at me up here.
I know.
It's very, 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 very fun.
Fun is the word you use? I'm
it.
like have anxiety for you. I'm just like, oh
I enjoy it. And it's like, so like, yeah, the goal for sure is like I keep it pretty simple. I want to travel the globe and get paid to talk on stage.
It's a pretty good goal.
If I meet that, I've won.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. And I'm sure there's much more that will come with it. You know what I mean? But that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That
would be amazing. Yeah. And then you mentioned you're producing as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Producing shows. Yeah. And through my company called Full Circle Comedy.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't do that deep of a dive. Forgive me.
No worries.
So you have a production company.
Correct.
And so what does that entail? Because people say that, but I don't know if people really know what that is.
Yeah. So, I mean, organizing shows, putting together, we do a monthly show at the DC Comedy Loft.
Okay.
Yeah. So every second Thursday of the month, right? And so we produce all of that. I also self-produce all my own clips and content, and I do that for other comedians as well. So like, you know, editing clips, all that kind of stuff. So like I have a little bit of a team, and like you said, some of it's like put into a process like you have with your podcast. But yeah,
it's a journey, man. It's
an
expensive ass journey. It's a journey. Yeah. I'm still trying to figure it out.
It takes time, dude. And I try to self-produce everything I do.
And you're the first in your family to do anything like this, correct?
Creative, like heavy creative. No, my older brother kind of was into cameras as well, you know, like.
But comedy
for sure. Yeah. No one's
like no comedy. Uncle, no grandfather, nothing down the line.
My dad does say this though. He says that.
I can't wait to hear this guy.
Yeah, we have. You know, my dad's Nigerian. He says that he has 4 people and he can see who everyone reincarnated in the village.
Okay.
Right, there's 4 people in his village, like 4 prominent people, and he could see who all of his kids kind of reincarnated. And he said that the dude that I reincarnated was like one of the most famous dudes in the village.
Really?
And this has been since I was a child, you know what I mean? Since I was a kid, he's like, oh, I see that personality. It's my uncle, you know?
Wow.
So it's weird. It's crazy. He says that to us all the time.
Wow. Wow, that's beautiful.
And he says one individually about all my brothers. It's crazy.
Yeah. All right, guys, welcome back. Please make sure to follow on Firsties Pod everywhere, literally everywhere, wherever you listen to any of your podcasts. We're also on Pinterest now, Facebook, Snapchat, all that fun stuff. So please make sure to follow. Before the break, we were talking about our favorite comic, and we both said Dave Chappelle. Why Dave Chappelle for you?
I'll tell you, my older brother, he actually downloaded Chappelle's special on an iPod Touch.
Throwback.
And, dude, I watched that thing 100 times.
Yeah.
Him, Cat Williams, the movie 300, Too Fast, Too Furious.
Okay.
And a few other ones. Coach Carter.
Okay.
And, like, nothing was in English, by the way, at this point. Like, this is, like, my reality. Like, I'm in Switzerland at this time. So
I forget that you're in Switzerland.
I walk outside and nothing's in English. So, like, and I was born in America, and I know that. So I'm like trying to embody some American culture here. Like I'm trying to figure out what I want to be and do. And so like I'm watching this and I was like, this is amazing. How is he coming up with things on the spot? And so yeah, I gravitated towards that. But I didn't think of becoming a comedian back then. I just thought it was amazing.
Yeah. Now I remembered if you saw when Dave Chappelle accepted whatever prize.
Mark Twain?
Yes. And he mentioned some comic and he said like before he knew how he played himself, he would emulate this one comedian. So did you ever do that? Like before you figured out who Benny was, were you trying to be like a Eddie Murphy or Chris Tucker or Patrice O'Neal? Like were you?
Yeah. So first of all, the comedian that you shout out was Tony Woods.
Yes.
Shout out to Tony Woods. Yes. We see him all the time in DC. He's the man.
That's amazing.
He's like an uncle to everybody on the scene. So he's a beast. I wanted to be early. I wanted to be Dave Chappelle, and I also wanted to take Trevor Noah. I loved how international Trevor Noah was. He used accents. He used a little bit of acting and everything, and such smart joke writing. And I always told myself if I can mix those two, I've done what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good answer. That's one of my brother's favorite.
He's the man.
Comics.
The book is great too.
Yeah. What I want to get your thoughts on. I was seeing on there's been discussion on Matt Rife's claim to fame, which if you just read a book, you'd know he'd been doing it for so long. You're using social media to kind of to your advantage as a tool to get your content out there. Like if you have to do that in order to kind of win in this game. What are your thoughts on that discussion of, well, he's only making doing these shows or whatever because of the TikTok fame or because of the fandom that he has on TikTok with these, younger audiences. What are your thoughts on that?
You damn right. Yeah. It's clear. What do you mean, bro? Like he played the game just like everybody else was playing the game.
Remember when
broke it.
People were talking shit about Dane Cook and how he also infiltrated the system and got he was kind of one of, not the first, but he really used social media and was like, guys, get on Twitter, guys, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I love Vicious Circle.
Dane did that as well, but I think that I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think there was a thing about him maybe using similar jokes to someone else. But I actually never took a deep dive into it. The reason the old heads don't like Matt Rife is because my dude is using crowd work.
And so what is that bad? And is that not a thing?
Okay, so this is my take on it.
Yeah.
This is my take on it, right? In the olden days, what they used to do is they used to come up with an act. That's why they called it an act, an hour-long act where they do the same thing.
Okay.
They tell you the same jokes and and they take it and go across the country and tour.
Yeah.
But because of social media, now everything's kind of out there. And you see these comedians and you see their jokes, Nobody wants to see a joke 5 times in a row. It's not like music. Music, actually, the song, you get more fond of the song the more you hear it.
Yeah.
A joke is the opposite. We need the surprise factor. That's why timing is such a big part of comedy as well.
Got it.
And so the older ones, I feel like they don't like that. They like their traditional, tell your jokes, tell your act, boom, boom, boom. Mm-hmm. And then when they see crowd work, they're like, this guy's just asking everybody what he does and making fun of them. But to me, I love it, doing it, because it cuts the stagnance out of stand-up for me. I don't know where it's gonna go. I don't know what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
So I have jokes and I go into jokes, but then I'll talk to people about them. I love talking to people. That's the best.
Yeah.
So that's when I think Matt Rife's the same way. He digs that. It's fun for him. 'Cause I know what it's like. It's fun as hell. So I think that's kind of a separation between generations where we find that really fun to do, and they're just you're cheating.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I'm but I enjoy watching it because when I was at that Dave Chappelle show and then someone was heckling him and he had this timing and it just everyone died laughing. If I'm honest, he's the GOAT. So I feel if he fucking dropped his drink, everyone would die laughing.
Yeah, every time. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. But he was actually really, really funny. And I like seeing those moments because that's actually Dave Chappelle, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? When he comes up on stage, that's cool, but I want to know this Dave Chappelle if I'm ever able to freaking meet him. When he's just smoking a cigarette, chain smoking in the back, before a show. You know what I mean? That type of shit. Remember when he got attacked on stage and just how he made fun of that? That's a real moment. That's not gangster, bro. You know what I mean? That's Dave Chappelle from DC about to F a nigga up. Yeah. So I completely agree with you on that. Do you
crowds love it though? Can I also say
please,
one point on that?
Yeah.
Crowds the thing is that crowds have changed.
What do you mean by that?
So the crowds, I guess, are maybe getting younger and they're seeing a lot of what they call TikTok comedy, which is us talking to the crowd, right? And so now people will come to regular shows and expect that. And a lot of stand-up isn't that because a lot of people can't really do that back and forth thing.
Right.
they like to just come and tell their jokes. No, they just like to come tell their jokes, like what they worked on, like what they wrote out.
Oh, I meant the audience thinks. The audience thinks they can. Come and they think, and I'm like, babes, that's not what this is.
That's something Matt Rife deals with all the time. Is people yelling. I
saw him say that. Yeah.
At his shows, even my homie Martin does the same thing. He's a dude that owns like Roommate Away.
Oh, okay.
It's like a comedy club in DC, and like 100%, like it's the same thing. People expect him to be roasting everybody, but he's like, I got jokes, and he does have jokes. He's a funny dude.
Yeah, I could see how that could be frustrating if you have your set jokes and you have a plan on how the show's gonna go, and then people just wanna try to.
Yeah, I mean, but you gotta be able to deal with it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my opinion. Like you got to be able to be malleable up there. I like to get into like a flow state. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
I enjoy being in the pocket up there. It's like whatever. If somebody yells stuff, I go, "What'd you say?"
Right.
Like that's me.
Yeah. Wow.
Maybe it's my ADD.
You're confident. That lends itself. I find everyone in the industry is on something. Yeah. Do you ever, from your days, are you ever just like, fuck this? Like.
Yeah, there's ups and downs.
Yeah.
But I'm also like very aware of that. Like you have to stay balanced. Some days are gonna suck, dude. Some shows are not as good as others.
Yeah.
That's the truth. That's gonna happen. So it's like, whew, that was a rough one, bro. You know what I mean? Like, but bounce back.
Yeah.
The next day could be one of the best sets.
Your resilience is probably insane.
It's necessary.
It's necessary. That's probably the right word to do it. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And then do you have your siblings come and seen your shows at all?
For sure.
Oh, okay.
Do my brothers be at my shows? They be like helping me push merch too. Like they
be
helping
awesome.
me. They hold it down, bro. Yeah. My brothers are the best, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm trying to see if I have anything else to ask you. And then also, do you edit your own content, or do you have like how big is your team?
I edit everything, self-produced.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
It's necessary because I feel like it'll get to the point where I might need some more people. But I also want to know what's happening. Like I want to know what an edit looks like or what's possible. Right. Like that was something like, it's important to understand how editing works as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I could make or break a clipper or anything.
I have a question for you. You grew up in the DMV, you said?
Yeah, so like Northern Virginia.
What was that like?
Yeah. Honestly, part of the reason why I'm so glad you asked that, Benny, because so my podcast is called Firsties, right? So it's a play on words, but it's the people who are the first to do anything, which is literally my parents and everyone that I know around me, and then also first gen to come from immigrant parents. It's just a very like unique experience. When I was younger, I didn't realize I had a tough time trying to like dance between the two worlds of being Habesha but then being American. Like when I'm around my American friends, I just didn't feel like I fit in, even though they were kind and sweet. And then I'm at like Mahabats or with my family, and then like my Amadanya is not perfect, and they clown me on that. At a young age, it was just like very, very confusing. And when you're
speak it?
Tanish. I could understand it really well. I could barely speak it. Please stop. Okay. Please stop. Yeah. Sorry, Mom. Please stop. I can understand it very well, which is great because in the area, I feel like I look like my parents. I look Habesha, but 9 times out of 10, I get Dominican. I get whatever. So some of my peeps slaughter me in our language, like talk shit about me, and then I turn around and say something very quick in our language, and their face drops every single time.
That's so funny.
Every single time, yeah. And they're like so apologetic. I was like, oh no, it's fine. Like it's whatever. I've
experienced that many times. Like, nobody knows that I'm Habesha.
Yeah. Or they don't care. They're just like talking shit. I'm just like, it's fine. It's whatever. I'm used to it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So really, this podcast is like I'm interviewing a bunch of my family and stuff about our experience growing up, like the good parts and the not so good parts.
Yeah.
So like I fully have sat my parents down and said like, you are not going to like some episodes and you need to be like, okay with that. I'm not downing on anything like that, but I just think we should talk about like just the like colorism in the Habesha culture, or like the expectation to get married at a certain age, or like those things. In an episode I just talked about, just went to dinner with my dad, and he sat me down and was like truly concerned that I'm not like giving guys chances because I live alone now. And so he's like, you're dating, right? You're meeting guys, right? And I'm like, it's okay, everything will be okay. He's always like, that your husband won't come to your front step, like you have to go out and meet people or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm totally good.
Yeah,
I'm traveling, I'm happy, I think we're good, and I have my health, I think we're good. But like those things I want to talk about,
of course,
because we're having these conversations,
the real part of your experience.
We're having these conversations like in our kitchens or like in our cars on our driveways with our cousins. So I essentially want this podcast to be like cousins on a couch talking, basically, because my cousins understand it because they had the same shared experience. So that's really what Firsties is. And so talking about my upbringing and stuff. And then I'm in a particular situation because my dad is a very, like, you love him. He's the comic of the family. Like, he's a rough around the edges. Like, he's not the typical African Habesha dad. And I love him to death. But, like, nothing is serious. Everything were jokes.
Yeah.
Like, he just, like, there's no really, like, structure. Like, he's just a lighthearted, life of the party. I feel like Habesha dads
are like that, though.
Yeah, but, you know, when you're young.
Habesha moms tend to be the real disciplinarians.
Yeah. And my mom said, like, I would have chose the fun parent, but your dad already took that.
Yeah, role. So that's fascinating.
She literally says in our language, like, I don't want you guys to be whores or drug dealers, so I had to make sure you guys were, like, tighten up. I'm like, great, we turned out great. But yeah, talking about that experience there, so having people like you on to talk about, like, our upbringings and stuff.
Yeah, that's dope.
And not necessarily like I have advice, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, right? But
we're all figuring it out,
because for the longest time I tried to act like I did, and that didn't work out. I had nothing to show for it, which a lot of my cousins do that as well. So I'm like, let me just embrace that I don't know what I'm doing, and hopefully, like, my little cousins or nieces can look at this content and be like, oh shit, I'm not alone.
That's dope.
Just the ministry of presence, or being like, you're not alone, is healing than enough. Like, you don't need advice or anything like that, but just talking about, like, oh shit, that's relatable. Or, you know, like when you did that the one clip where you were like, on the count of 3, everyone make that noise, and then everyone made that. I was like, that's hilarious and so amazing. Relatable. Yeah,
that was so fun.
I
came up with that right before that happened.
Really?
I was in the back and I was like, man, there's a lot of Habesha women here, dude. Let's try this.
That's amazing.
Let's see what happens. And I did it, and I was like, oh, wow, okay. That's going to do well.
And then who also films you for these clips? Because I know the camera.
Tripod, I got a camera. I set it up, man. I do everything.
Standalone? Like,
yeah.
Not a person there filming you?
No. I do everything, and then I do everything in post.
Wow. So after a show, is it like, whoo, okay, I'm done. Let's get some drinks and let's have some fun? Or are you like, all right, let me go edit. What is that like?
What happens after? After a show is, first of all, so I live in Virginia, but I perform in DC all the time. So I have a little bit of a drive, about like 35 minutes. So on the drive home, I'm like decompressing everything. I leave. I don't go out. I'm really not out like that.
Really?
I go to comedy shows and I go home and do some work, and like that's how it goes.
So interesting, because the line of work that you're doing is so... It's not so that, but
it's treacherous.
Yeah.
That's the point. It's the point I'm trying to make, fam. The reason you stay at a show is you go home.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. I'm very driven on what I'm trying to do, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll get home and I'll take my memory card out of my camera, plug it into my iPad, and like edit a clip for the next day before I leave. I'll watch that set that I did.
Yeah.
Or 2 or 3 sets that I might have done that night. Pull out the best clips, edit it, and then schedule it for the next day.
And then you just do that every single day, basically.
Yeah, or if I've built up like a backlog, I'll do, schedule a week, but I'll still keep editing.
Gotcha.
I do it like film. Like I used to play basketball. I watch my film at the end of the night. Does that make sense? Did you ever play sports?
I did. And so I was actually just talking to a friend of mine, he owns a company, and he's like, what the fuck is going on with you millennials? Like, you guys don't want to work. Like, what's going on? I was like, you have to hire. I was like, I'm not even joking. You have to hire someone who comes from immigrant parents or an athlete. Those are the only two, because they grunt, like, they just understand, especially as an athlete. Yeah. Like, you already have that like muscle memory of just grind. And
your parents work hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've seen that every single day.
The best thing my parents gave me was a work ethic. They told me they believed in me, but the best thing they gave me was like, just work hard. Nothing is going to be handed to you. Like, my mom was always the one who's like, I'm successful, you ain't shit. And I'm like, got it. So I have to like work towards that, which I'm glad she did, because I think I would turn out like an asshole if she didn't. Question for you. So when it comes to what you're talking about, how do you come up with these stories? Like, I remember an interview with Leslie Jones, and when she was starting out, she was saying how one of her mentors was like, stop doing comedy, just go out and live life so you have fucking content or stories to talk about. Do you do it that way, or do you have one of those lives where just like random shit happens to you and you can just use that as content? Like, how do you piece together what you're going to talk about? Or
what you just said is very important, because like it can swallow you up, entertainment and this kind of thing. Like, if you don't have anything to talk about, you become uninteresting. So I 100%, like, I'll travel, try to see different things, meet new people, keep a diverse friend group as well is very important. Don't just, you know what I mean? But yeah, I go out and I don't like particularly look for content. Random stuff just happens in my life. Like so much crazy stuff. I remember I went to LA. I actually got the car that I was towed. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been towed?
No, that seems very aggressive and stressful.
It was the first time I got towed, and I was on vacation in LA doing comedy.
Towed is crazy. A ticket, yeah. Towed is it's like a whole day.
Oh, this is the best part, right? After you pay the tow and you like get in, I'm like, all right, well, it's not my car. I rented this thing. I have to pay whatever. I pay the money. I get it. And I see the car, and what's on the dashboard is a ticket. Like, these savages left the ticket. Like, they're going to make me pay the ticket, too. I was like, yo, this life is not fair.
Yeah,
this
life
is wild,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
But, like, shit like that happens, but also I'm doing every comedy club I ever wanted to do in LA. So it's like, there's two sides to everything. You just see it all the same.
So how was your trip to LA? How was that?
Yeah,
was it everything really you imagined? Was it?
I did everything I wanted to do and more.
Okay.
I didn't expect it to go as it.
Did you have friends there or?
No, I landed knowing no one. And
now
I do
that is terrifying.
I do that a lot.
I did that once. Came home crying.
Where?
I went like LA. I had a couple jobs there. I did it and then just came back. Like went to dinner. I tried to go to dinner on my own. And I'm just like, yeah, this is not working out. I also want to say like, just to be real, like being a woman in America traveling versus a male, completely different.
For sure.
Your size lends itself probably as well. How tall are you?
Yeah, 6'4", no question.
Yeah, 5'2" black woman in America, completely different.
Yeah, nobody really messes with them on the street.
Yeah, so I was like, I was getting attention that I didn't want, or I was like, I just want to grab my meal and go to it was weird.
But solo traveling is, and I know a lot of women that solo travel. I have a lot of friends that are solo travel that I've met on solo traveling trips.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, of course. You know what I mean?
You. I'm going to assume you're a guy who's just like stumbled upon certain friendships. Is that accurate or no?
Stumbled upon certain friendships.
Like you just have met people and then now they're producing on your team or they're have like that type of thing where it's just like
genuine.
They just come to you. Yeah, you just attract the same people that you are.
Yeah, that's the best, man. You just as you travel. I also find that in this world, the farther you go, the smaller it gets.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. I've seen that like a number of times.
Yeah. That's really true.
It's weird, man.
Yeah, it is really weird.
So just keep going. Like just keep.
I mean, if you want to go far, go together. If you want to go fast, go alone.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah.
My dad says that all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Even you want to go far. Yeah. Yeah. My dad's great, dude. That's so many proverbs.
Good. That's so good. Do you have your family in your comedy yet?
So much.
Do you ever get offended? Like, nigga, what the? That was supposed to be a conversation between me and you.
Nah, it's nothing like that, bro. I just it's more like observational on like the stuff they say and do. I got a lot of immigrant parent stuff. My dad, mom, Ethiopia, being half East African and half West African. Like that's another whole.
Yeah, what's that? What's that like?
It's first of all, I never see anyone.
What do you mean?
That's similar.
Oh, okay.
That has both. It's like I never see it. I've gotten a couple messages on Instagram from people that are like, "Hey, I'm also happy people in Nigeria." I'm like, "Damn, that's dope. We should, start a coalition or something." I don't know. You know what I mean? But it's because there's so maybe? Few. There's exactly that'd be great. Mental health is important. It's important, bro. Because like identity is a big thing too. But I am like lucky enough to be like to just feel connected to both. I just feel very connected to both, like the foods, the music, like everything. I lived in one. It's crazy, man.
And so...
But visited both plenty times.
Okay, I was going to say, I was going to ask,
been there, know my family, know what it looks like. Like, seen what home looks like, you get me? So it's like,
Your life is so interesting.
Yeah, I was very, very, very fortunate to be able to see that.
Yeah.
At a young age.
At a very young age, yeah.
So...
How old were you when you did your first show, or you picked up a mic and you actually spoke in front of an audience?
I was kind of doing that from young, like in high schools and like presentations. That was all me. Like I got it.
Nigga.
Yeah, 100%.
And you were this tall that age?
I've been tall and doofy for a long time.
Okay. It just lends itself. It's just like a whole vision. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Man, okay.
100%. Like, but I didn't realize that. I don't know, is what I wanted to do. And then I realized that it can be like a real thing. I was like, dude, bet.
And so did sports not work out?
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude. Sports is crazy. playing at like the Division I level, like you realize that it becomes a complete business, right?
Yeah.
You see it from that perspective.
Yeah, my D1 friends are miserable.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's how the game works, you know?
Right.
The day I figured out how the game works was we played in like the March Madness. You familiar with this tournament? Yeah, we played in there, and like they had like your name is on the locker and everything. Crazy. This is a crazy story. I probably shouldn't even be giving you this one, but I will.
Ooh, fun.
But it's we played in the Denver Nuggets arena. That was fun, and then once the game was over and we lost, I realized that they had sold out this arena with like how many thousands of people, and all we got was like Axe body spray and like some fruit and electrolytes. And I was like, oh, that's the game.
What kind of fruit?
It was an apple. I think there was a pear in there. You get me? Like not even a mango. Like give me a mango, bro. Like what? Like yo.
Because there were pineapple in there or something.
Anything. Yeah. But yeah. So it was kind of funny. And then that's when I really understood it. And that was like a sophomore in college. I was like, oh, okay, this makes a lot of sense now. I see. So I have to do something where my mind makes me money, not my body. And that's how sports ended for me.
Wow. Now you sound like my parents.
Yeah, dog. You got to play the game too, bro. Because I've seen it countless.
Your mind makes your money, not your body. Wow.
Countless times, bro, where like you tears an ACL, done.
Right.
Replaced.
The longevity of that, yeah.
Oh, bro, I've seen it. I have boys that went through it. Like, you know what I mean? It's different when it's not just a ticker on ESPN. Right.
So comedy's for you. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you're glad you're here. Yeah,
that's
awesome.
Comedy's it.
So before we wrap up, is there anything else that you want to share? Anything that you want to get out there? Any advice you want to give?
Yeah, there's a proverb that I live by that I always say, which I love. It's the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time to plant a tree is today.
Oh, wow.
So like if
now
you
you're
never
getting
start,
deep. Okay.
If you never start, you'll never make it.
Yeah.
So do it.
Yeah, I think
I don't know what it is, bro or sis. Do it.
Do it. Yeah, seriously, do it. I mean, I always say, my audience knows that this podcast was a long time coming. I probably should have been here 4 years ago. And what's most frustrating is I realized that the only person that was stopping me was myself, which is just like a whole other ick of mine.
That means you weren't supposed to be here 4 years ago.
True. You're right. Thanks for making me feel better about myself. Thank you.
It's only the truth.
So on that note, guys, thanks again. Thank you so much for coming on. This was amazing.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, we should do this again.
Yeah.
I will link all of this information down below. Yeah. Please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, all that fun stuff.
And we'll see you November 9th, right?
Yes, I'm coming to your show.
Comedy
yes, please. Absolutely. Yep. Again, guys, please subscribe, like, do all the good things. And I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.
Peace.
That was really good.
Awesome. That was fun. Do they have the headphones left in my head?